Often you get nominated for your specials?
Nothing. I used to get nominated for everything.
Yeah.
And then the wokeness came in, and then I was considered a conservative.
In a recent podcast episode, Bill Maher shared his view that wokeness has significantly damaged the entertainment industry, arguing that creative freedom is being limited by pressure to follow certain narratives. At the same time, Joe Rogan stirred conversation by calling out the Golden Globe Awards over what he saw as a snub in the podcast category. With both voices adding fuel to the debate, let's jump right into it.
I just got a Golden Globe nomination for the one I did.
Oh, really?
That's yesterday.
How often do you get nominated for your specials?
Nothing. I used to get nominated for everything.
Yeah.
And then the wokeness came in, and then I was considered conservative.
Are you bad?
Ridiculous. So I was what I call soft canceled.
Yeah.
Where you don't
Well, I'm a Bill Clinton liberal, which is from the 90s, which is now called a Nazi.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
You're a white supremacist.
So this is the first time in a while I've been nominated for something.
Okay.
Which I think shows a little bit that we are coming out of the wokeness. I mean, I'm not going to win, and I'm probably not even going to go, but I take it as a victory that they were not able to ignore how good that special was. I just say it's my last one. I'm going to say I'm not going to lie. It's just a really good special. Yeah. But, it's not one that the woke can watch and not throw up, because I call their shit out and the fact that people are laughing shows that it's fun.
To put things in perspective, Bill Maher was nominated for his special, something many found surprising given that it marked his first nomination at the Golden Globe Awards, despite being on television for nearly 3 decades. Some observers noted how unusual that felt, considering his long career. It also seemed to fit his style, especially since Ricky Gervais, known for his own bold takes on award shows, didn't even attend. Meanwhile, outlets like the Daily Beast and other left-leaning media ran headlines suggesting Maher reacted poorly to losing, framing it as a meltdown. That naturally raised curiosity. What exactly did he say to spark such reactions? At that point, many preferred to hear it directly from Maher himself.
I can do a joke now with Obama going to preschools or going to primary school and teaching kids lessons through nursery rhymes.
What did that sound like?
Yeah.
Jack and Jill went up the hill
That's awesome.
to fetch a pail of water. Jack looked at Jill, and Jill looked at Jack. And Jill said, "I'd like to be a Jack too." So Jack and Jack came down the hill. So that's a double whammy of a trend. And I tell the audience, it was just too good, right?
That was something that they found to be controversial?
No, I just started doing it. It gets a lot of laughs.
It should.
Yeah, it should. It's not anti-trans. It's just funny. It's funny.
But you were worried that it was at one point? That it was going to be too...
Sometimes you're in a really certain kind of audience. People will go a little quiet on it.
If you say trans, it sounds anti-trans.
Yes, we are, and this shift has been building for years. It didn't suddenly appear overnight or begin with any single political moment. The trend was already underway long before recent elections. If you look at the numbers, the evidence is hard to ignore. Even with a larger population and easier access thanks to smartphones, award shows today draw far smaller audiences than they did in the 1990s and early 2000s. Something in the culture has clearly changed. Comedian Dana Carvey even leaned into this idea by making a joke that not too long ago might have sparked serious backlash. Moments like that are being pointed to as signs of a broader cultural shift, where certain boundaries in entertainment are being tested again, and audiences are reacting differently than they once did.
I'm sure there are good shows, but it was glaring that Joe Rogan was not nominated.
For Best Buy?
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of popular, and it is
known.
It is known.
He's absolutely brilliant at what he does.
And he's very good at what exactly. So you're going to have an inaugural podcast category,
and you don't have.
It just speaks to living in the blue sky bubble. Yeah. But get out of your bubble. I want to be one of you. I am one of you. But you're just so hard to defend because you're just such smug assholes. And this town is the epicenter of the problem. It really is.
How many more liberal Democrats are there? There's you that say what you say.
Not a lot.
There's a guy in Des Moines
No.
who runs a
I
shoe
had
store.
dinner with Andrew Schultz last night.
Okay.
I think he's one of them. I think he's a
he
little
Democrat?
more bro than
Yeah.
me. You know, he's
like
a little
it.
more on the bro side, but I think he's a very smart guy.
It's meant to be a lighthearted joke, and while not every audience will find it funny, the fact that Dana Carvey openly showed hesitation says a lot. To some, it highlights how fear of backlash can lead performers to hold back, creating a sense of self-censorship that didn't feel as strong in earlier years. Critics argue that a few years ago, a similar joke might have sparked heavy criticism online. That's when Bill Maher returned to the topic of award shows, suggesting the industry overlooked Joe Rogan and failed to give him the recognition he deserved this year.
So here's the thing. Like, a lot of people say, why wasn't Joe Rogan nominated for the Golden Globes? And like, why did, Amy Poehler win? I didn't submit. So they asked me to submit to be nominated for the Golden Globes, and you had to pay $500. And the $500 is like for paperwork or whatever. I said, no. Like, I don't care. I already won. Like, you can't tell me I didn't win. I've been number one for 6 years in a row. All of a sudden, you're going to have a contest in front of all these people wearing tuxedos, and you're going to say, now I'm not number one? Like, off.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, I don't care that I'm number one, but I am, in fact, number one. So if all of a sudden you have a contest to decide who's really number one amongst us, like, that's amongst you. You're allowed to have your opinion. You like Amy Poehler better than me? That's great.
Oh, that's
I don't
so
care.
funny, Joe.
I don't want to be a part of that. I don't care. You're just a group of people that just decide all of a sudden that you're going to give an award out. You got to get a trophy. Off.
To call Andrew Schultz politically sharp might be a stretch, in my view. He comes across more like someone tuned into the general mood of podcast audiences, but often focused on surface-level takes. As a comedian, he's quick to spot hypocrisy, that part is clear, but it doesn't always go much deeper than that. Meanwhile, the fact that Joe Rogan wasn't nominated for Best Podcast at this year's Golden Globe Awards has suddenly turned into a major talking point. A few weeks ago, Joe and I discussed it at length, and as expected, he didn't hold back in sharing his thoughts. He makes a strong point. For decades, Hollywood has operated through gatekeepers, studios, award bodies, and powerful agents deciding who gets recognition and who doesn't. Because of that system, many people in the industry stayed quiet rather than challenge the dominant narrative. But that influence isn't as powerful as it once was. The rise of the internet changed everything. Today, creators can build massive audiences without needing approval from executives in Los Angeles. And that shift has weakened those traditional structures. The balance of power has clearly moved, and those old systems no longer control the conversation the way they used to. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.